When you have something to say, silence is a lie. Which means, when you have something to say, being silent is lying. If you think tough men are dangerous, wait until you see what weak men are capable of. That means, if you believe that strong men can be harmful, just wait until you see what weak men can do. If you don't say what you think, then you kill your unborn self. It means saying what you think will prevent you from killing your unborn self. If you fulfill your obligations every day, you don't need to worry about the future. Which means you won't need to worry about the future if you meet your duties every day. To suffer terribly and to know yourself as the cause, that is hell. That means hell is knowing that you are the reason you are suffering so greatly. The purpose of life, as far as I can tell, is to find a mode of being that's so meaningful that the fact that life is suffering is no longer relevant. It means, I believe that the goal of life is to discover a way of being that is so fulfilling that the fact that life is painful is no longer important. Perhaps you are overvaluing what you don't have and undervaluing what you do. Which means, it's possible that you place a higher value on what you lack than what you do have. If you are not willing to be a fool, you can't become a master. That means you can't become a master if you're not willing to act foolishly. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. It means compare your current state to your previous one, not to someone else's. In order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. It means you have to take the chance of offending people in order to think. The successful among us delay gratification. The successful among us bargain with the future. Which means those of us who are successful postpone pleasure. Those that are successful in life negotiate with the future. Nietzsche said that a man's worth was determined by how much truth he could tolerate. That means, according to Nietzsche, a man's value is defined by the amount of truth he can stand. Always place your becoming above your current being. It means always prioritize who you want to become over who you are now. You don't get to choose not to pay a price. You only get to choose which price you pay. Which means the only price you can pick is the one you pay. You cannot choose not to pay a price. There are some games you don't get to play unless you are all in. Which means some games require complete commitment before you can play. What you aim at determines what you see. That means what you see depends on your point of aim. The secret to your existence is right in front of you. It manifests itself as all those things you know you should do, but are avoiding. It means you have the key to your existence in your hands. It shows up as all the things you know you ought to do but put off doing. Don't ever underestimate the destructive power of sins of omission. Which means never undervalue the harmful potential of omission sins. The things that pose the greatest threats to your survival are the most real things. That means the things that are closest to reality are the ones that threaten your survival the most. Treat yourself like you would someone you're responsible for helping. It means, as you would someone you were responsible for aiding, treat yourself with respect. It's a luxury to pursue what makes you happy. It's a moral obligation to pursue what you find meaningful. Which means pursuing your happiness is a luxury. However, Pursuing your moral obligations is a requirement.